Hello po sa inyong lahat. Welcome po sa fifth and last episode sa ating special Ask the Expert series with Doc Joan Rifareal. So if you've been watching these past 5 weeks ng March, no, so 5 episodes din po tayo, we have been tackling about self-care, di ba, mental health and emotional health and why it's important to for us to do that and the effects of this aspect of our health into our physical health, di ba? Siyempre, ang vision, mission namin sa Doctor and Hello Health Group is to help people make informed decisions about their health. And I feel so blessed that we have Doc Joan Rifareal here who has been supporting us, not just with this series, but with our other Facebook Lives with her. Thank you so much, Doc Joan.
Thank you, Kai. Ako nga magpapasalamat. Really, really. I'm so thankful. Thank you, Kai. I'm grateful for this opportunity to help raise awareness on mental health, especially during this International Women's Month.
Right. So today we're going to talk about coping with mental health struggles. Alam mo, Doc Joan, when I was being interviewed for this position in Hello Doctor, no, as
Yes.
EIC, medyo na-shock yung Chief Growth Officer namin, si Chris Clark, kasi on our first interview, I immediately disclosed to him I have clinical OCD, which, when you're a perfectionist, sometimes it triggers depression and anxiety, no? Because you want things to be perfect, right? And of course, life is not perfect. And he was so shocked kasi parang that's something that, an applicant wouldn't normally disclose about themselves because that might, that might mean they get removed from the paano ba, the applicants list, di ba? Pero I was super honest, and I think they saw value in that
Yeah.
because I am a mental health advocate long before mental health was a huge topic. So to start with our episode of June, when we say mental health, what are we pertaining?
Yeah. So when we say mental health, let's go back to the official definition given by the World Health Organization about mental health. So when we say mental health, it's a state of well-being in which number one, we are able to realize, alam natin what our abilities are, our talents, our skills. We know kung ano ang mga kaya natin gawin, especially sa mga kababaihan during this International Women's Month. Number two, we are able to cope with the normal stressors of life. Kahit na marami pang stressor, because stress will always be a part of our lives. We encounter stressors anytime, anywhere, any day. Nandun pa rin ang ating ability to be able to handle or cope with our stressors well. Number three, we are able to work productively and fruitfully. So sa ating roles as moms, as titas, or colleagues or friends, kaya natin to function, to do our tasks, our roles, and perform well. And at the end of the day, number four, we are able to make a contribution to our community in any way we can. So yun po yung four elements of mental health according to the World Health Organization.
Well, Doc Joan, dito sa atin sa Philippines, lalo na yung sa mga babae, no? A lot of women are still struggling to say that they're struggling with their mental health. Why do you think that is the case?
Yeah, ngayon kasi Kai, even if talagang meron na tayong there's more awareness now on mental health concerns, there is still that stigma. Yun lang ang stigma kasi, there is that fear about expressing or telling someone or seeking help for our mental health concerns because of that fear na baka we will be judged negatively, or they will say mga negative opinions. They will have negative opinions about us, or may fear na this may affect our status sa employment, sa school. So ito yung mga barriers to some women to ask for mga mental health or ask for help regarding mental health concerns. So but slowly, Kai, I'm happy to, sa akin from my observation, we are slowly getting there naman. Yung slowly, again, it's a process. It's not an overnight thing na talaga the awareness is there. And parang meron na ngayon that increased interest to seek help for mga mental health concerns. Not really kaagad no, with mental health professionals, but kahit na in the homes, talking about it with friends, asking for advice from school guidance counselors, mga school professors, advisors, mentors. So slowly, we are in fact fighting this stigma.
Okay, sige Doc. So I'll jump to the other question that's super relevant kasi
Yes.
what we hear, 'di ba, drama queen, o nag-iinarte lang 'yan, o ito na naman si best actress, 'di ba? Para bang nasa kultura natin yung mag-label ba, no? Mag-label lalo na
Yes.
kung babae struggling with these words or struggling with their mental health, no? Sa office, pag emotional ka, sasabihin dramatic mo, masyado ka emotional, as if that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Pag ginagawa natin to, Doc Joan, at naririnig to nung babaeng nagsa-struggle with her mental health, ano yung effect niya? Kunyari, ako yung diba, naririnig ko, tinatawag mo kung ganyan. What happens to the patient?
Of course, when we hear this, for example, no, halimbawa tayo, narinig natin to na, ay, wala yan, arte-arte mo lang yan, or talagang tamad ka lang, ayaw mong pumasok. But tayo, we know and we feel it. We feel the symptoms of halimbawa anxiety, depression. Then of course, we will feel invalidated. Ma-invalidate ang ating mga simptomas at it may come to that point na baka tayo din, no? We will also begin to question ourselves na, oo nga, baka nga pala tamad talaga ako or may katotohanan kaya yung sinabi niya. So there is that feeling of being invalidated, being cancelled. So mas maganda always, I always remind everyone, especially when I give talks to avoid mga judgmental statements like this na which can cause or make a person feel na his or her own thoughts, feelings are not valid. Or pwede kasi na the perception ng nakakarinig noon is that weak sila. So nagkakaroon ng mga negative perceptions from what they hear from mga colleagues who would mention mga things like this. No? So pwedeng they would feel na, baka weak talaga ako kasi yun yung sinabi ng aking friend. No? So they might question their capacity to of course, to cope, ang capacity nila to bounce back from their mga mental health concerns. So they may feel na weak talaga ako or failure talaga ako because of that feeling of being invalidated.
Okay. Meron bang danger na has it ever happened or have you seen a case, Doc, where because of labels like this, someone actually harmed themselves or drove them to take their own life or harm themselves?
Yeah, meron kay. Of course, kasi we know na when someone feels invalidated, they also begin to question kung ano ba talaga, no? Kung baka nga, no? Parang sometimes when they question, if no one corrects them, if no one gives them a better perspective or guide them through their mga thought process nila, then they may feel na talaga nga palang failure ako, or talaga palang I can't do this, I can't accomplish anything. So they may feel na parang it's always their mistake, they feel guilty about it. And we know that for someone who's going through depression, they feel all of these feelings of guilt, hopelessness, that life is meaningless, that they are a failure. So ang dami mga negative thoughts which go through their head. So mas na-feel nila to, no? Mas na-highlight itong mga negative thoughts and emotions when they do not get that validation from their loved ones or from their family or friends.
My favorite thing about this final episode in the series is no, sa first 4 episodes natin, Doc Joan, we were talking to the patient, di ba? We were addressing the patient. In this case, we're going to close it, di ba? Sabi nila, it takes a village to raise a child. You know what? It takes a village to take care of one another. We are accountable to one another. Right, Doc Joan?
Correct.
Accountable to and accountable for. Right?
Yeah.
So, to close this series and to close the episode, we're going to address the people who are around the women who are struggling. No, let's talk to the loved ones, maybe the husband or the parents or the siblings. No, what do we do? How do we help someone who is struggling mentally. Please
Yes.
enumerate your tips, and then, yeah, Doc,
Uh-huh.
go ahead, please. Yeah.
Yes, to the family members, the loved ones of someone. If you know of someone in the family or a friend or a colleague who may be going through some mental health concerns, please reach out. Now is the best time. Na kung may mga simptomas, may mga signs na parang may pagbabago sa kilos, sa performance sa trabaho, parang mas naging isolated lately, or parang may mga changes in behavior, please reach out. Let the person know that he or she is never alone. Kasi sometimes kasi yun ang kailangan nilang ma-feel or marinig, no, na they are never alone, and you will always be there to give them that help and support that they need as they go through challenging or tough times. And let them know that the help and support will always be there. Number 2, bawal ang judgmental. So please let's avoid mga comments na which are medyo judgmental and which may not be very helpful. Lalo yung mga pinag-usapan natin kanina, mas maganda if we phrase our statements in a more positive and healthy way. Like, I will stay with you until help arrives, or I'm here. If you need to talk to someone, I'm here always. You can call me anytime. So reassurance is very important. Number 3, if you can po, mas maganda magtulungan lagi, no? Now is the time na we call it na teamwork is very important, especially sa mga, kasi nga we are celebrating International Women's Month. Teamwork makes the dream work. Sometimes kapag may napapansin tayong someone is going through or struggling with a mental health concern, ano muna natin siya, no? Parang wala, no? Parang we do not reach out, and then they would go on, no, proceed with their mga activities or plans, and then they leave this person on his or her own. So mas maganda po teamwork always. Kung kailangan tulungan yung the person struggling with mental health concerns now, then let's take over kung ano man yung mga tasks niya na hindi niya kayang gawin, and know that this is temporary. Kasi any form of mental health concern, number 1 is temporary. Help is always available. They are highly treatable at mataas ang recovery rates. So it's never a hopeless situation, and help is always available. So wag po tayong mawala ng pag-asa. Magtulungan, teamwork makes the dream work.
Correct. So thank you for that, Doc June.
Yeah.
What the perfect way to end our month-long celebration of International Women's Month and International Women's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you again, Doc Joan. To all of us who tuned in all 5 episodes, marami pong salamat. Para po sa mga nakamiss ng mga naunang episodes, Episode 1 is Recovering from Trauma or PTSD. Episode 2 tackles the effects of sexual harassment. Episode 3, self-care for moms shouldn't be optional. And then episode 4, what a healthy woman looks like. No? Pinag-usapan natin yung mental, emotional health ng mga kababaihan. And ito pong episode 5, coping with mental health struggles. So if you are going through any difficulty and you don't know who to speak with, message us on Hello Doctor on Facebook, and we will try to send help your way. Tulad nga ng sabi ni Doc Joan, it is never a sign of weakness if you ask for help. Like, that is always in my head. Even for me, no? There is power in vulnerability, sabi nga ni Brené Brown. But when you're depressed, you don't see it. Which is why tayo po nakapaligid dun sa pasyente, nasa sa atin naman po ngayon yung responsibilidad para tulungan siya. Dahil sa ayaw natin, aminin natin, di ba? Ang nanay natin, babae, no? And I'm sure, tumingin po kayo sa paligid ninyo, marami pong babaeng nag-aalaga sa inyo, or katrabaho ninyo, mga matalik mo kaibigan. So kung minsan kailangan nila ng tulong, huwag po natin yung pagkayat. So, thank you again, Doc Joan. Until our next FB Live po with Doc Joan. Hindi po natin alam kung kailan yan, pero sana very soon. Gagawin natin ito agad. Nasasmin kayo magsanok. Country Lead of Hello Doctor Philippines. Marami pong salamat and be well.